So what exactly is VGC? Hey guys, what's going on? Sir Squire here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Sun and Moon competitive battling tutorial for you guys. So, before we get started, I just want to say, just like I say at the beginning of all of these videos, that they're for beginners. So if you are a VGC veteran, or if you kind of have a clue of what VGC is, this might be a little bit more of a refresher or a resource for you guys. It might be better if you guys hang out in the comment section and help out some of the newcomers with any questions they might have any insight, or if you want to add anything to what I have to say, feel free to add on in the comment section. If you want to correct me on something or add on to anything I'm saying, absolutely feel free to. I want this to be a forum. I want it to be a community for everyone to evolve and grow with and create something really special. So let's talk about VGC for a second. This video is not going to be as long as the Smogon one. It's not going to be as long as most of my competitive battling tutorial videos, mostly just because I don't know as much about VGC as I do Smogon. I'm definitely a lot more comfortable with Smogon rules than I am with VGC rules. And that's not because of anything really, just more because I've just gravitated more towards Smogon. So it's going to be a little bit more of a different tutorial explanation kind of thing. But I will say VGC is a very interesting format. It's a 2-on-2 format, which means there's a lot more strategy that goes into it. Team synergy matters a lot more. And in Smogon, really, the team build can win you a lot of games, whereas in VGC, the team build can be perfect, but if you're not an experienced player, if you don't know how good your Pokemon are, you will not be a top-tier player in VGC. That's just how VGC works. So I'm going to explain how VGC works very simply, and then I'm going to broaden out with some basic strategies that are implemented in VGC and leave it there, just because I don't know too much. I don't want to delve into too much that I don't know that much about. So I'm just going to explain basically what VGC is first. VGC is the official Pokemon Video Game Championships. That's what it is. It is the official Pokemon format. Pokemon itself regulates it, and the rules change every year, which is why you hear people say VGC 17 when talking about VGC, or VGC 16, or VGC 18. Like, these are the kind of things that you will hear just because the rules change every year. So they will add the year at the end of VGC to tell you what rules they're playing by. So in VGC 2017 rules, which, if you're watching this in the future, is the current rule set, you can only use Pokemon that are in the Sun and Moon Pokedex, not in the National Pokedex. So that limits things very specifically. You only have certain Pokemon that can play certain roles, and you're going to have to utilize them. And Mega Evolution is banned, which is a big deal because for the past 3 years, Mega Evolution has been a staple in VGC. So it's really going to go back to its roots, is really going to really delve into different strategies. Mega Kangaskhan's not going to run as rampant, and that's just how it is. Normally in VGC, you have like 8 to 10 Pokemon that you can pretty much guarantee that 3 or 4 of those top Pokemon are going to be on every team you see. That's just how it is. Normally, and that's not to discredit like ingenuity or whatever, but normally once people figure out what works, that's really all that works. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very hard to counter certain couplings of things. Sometimes Pokemon's chemistry works really well together in a doubles format to help build some synergy together, and that's really what VGC is all about. It's about really building a great team that can work really well together. The way that the doubles format works is you and your opponent show 6 Pokemon on your screen each, and then you each bring 4 to the battle. So you're not bringing all 6 Pokemon to the battle, you're bringing 4, which means that you have to figure out which 4 you think your opponent is going to bring, and then bring 4 to combat them. There are many different strategies that go into VGC, which I will go over in 1 second, but I do want to say that the way that you can play VGC, you can play it in your rated battle spot doubles format, which is actual VGC. So if you go into your Pokemon game and you go to battle spot and you go to rated battle spot doubles, that is official VGC rules and format, and you will be playing against official VGC players. That is VGC. So if you want to play it in your game, that's how you do it. I highly highly suggest you build your team on Pokemon Showdown first. I highly suggest that you go into this with a fully bred and EV trained team with maxed IVs, because the people you will be facing will not be messing around. So if you're going to do it, make sure that you are prepared, because if you do not go in there with a fully EV trained team with max IVs, you will be catching a lot of L's. So that being said, you can also play VGC 17 on Pokemon Showdown. You can build your team and simulate it on there. So if you want to build a team beforehand, which is, I believe, is a great resource and something that everyone should do, go on Pokemon Showdown, build your team first on there, and then bring it into your game and breed it and get the EVs you want, get all that stuff, and do it that way. So that's one thing that I could really tell you is a great feature to take advantage of. Definitely make sure you fully EV train. Definitely make sure you get all your IVs maxed with bottle caps before you go in there and do anything. So, that being said, let's talk a little bit more about the format itself. VGC is a format where you can go to events in your local area and participate in real life in tournaments. If you do really well in those tournaments, you can be invited to your country's regional championships, which is like your region, your area of your country, and you can go there and you can participate in a championship format. For example, I live in New York City, so if I were to participate in my local area's thing, I could be invited to New York City's regional championships. Then if you do well in your regional championships, you don't necessarily have to win, but you have to do well. If you do well, you get invited to your country's national championships, where you get to compete with the best players in your country. If you do well in that, you get invited to the Pokemon World Championships, and that takes place, I believe this year it takes place in California. Last year it also took place in California. It kind of varies. It goes around the world for the most part. The past few years it's been in the States, but I know this year and last year it was in California. So you go to the World Championships. If you do well, you can actually win money. You can actually win scholarships. You can win lots of things. I know the card game prices are a lot better, but that's just because you have to put a lot more money into being good at the card game than just $40 for the video game. So there's a little bit of leaning going towards the card game as far as the prizes go, but there's also people in the card game that dump thousands of dollars into their deck, so it makes perfect sense for the prizes to be a lot more for the card game than it would be for the video game. So anyway, that's basically the gist of the format. It is an in real life format. You can actually go and participate in tournaments. You can go and actually become a Pokemon champion, and you can watch all the live streams on Pokemon's Pokemon's Twitch channel, which I believe they do upload the archives to the YouTube channel. So if you do want to see what the format is like, I highly recommend going to their channel. You can also check out the current Pokemon World Champ, Wolfie Glick. He has his own YouTube channel, and he does lots of great VGC content, so I would definitely highly recommend checking him out, as well as Aaron Zhang, who is a commentator and former champion himself. Definitely go check him out too. As a matter of fact, I think I'll leave all their links in the description, just so you guys kind of just see where it's all at. But definitely go check them out if you want more research into VGC. As far as the strategies go, VGC has its own swell of strategies that it implements a lot better than Smogon would, such as Trick Room teams, especially with a Pokemon like Shadow Tag that can trap you, such as Gothitelle, whatever the hell that thing is. That thing can trap Pokemon with Shadow Tag, and you can Parror Song, and that is insane. You can also Trick Room. You can do a lot of different strategies that work a lot better in VGC just because of the doubles format. Fake out users are almost essential, and support Pokemon are everywhere. You don't see that many support Pokemon in Smogon rules because it's one-on-one, but in VGC you will find Pokemon all the time that don't have one attacking move. It's all support, whether it's Helping Hand, Follow Me, Recover, Wish, Aromatherapy, all those stupid moves that you hate. It's all in VGC too, don't worry. But there are some Pokemon like Sableye who are very useful just because they have the Prankster ability. They cannot be taunted because they're Dark type. There's a lot that they have going for them that makes them very useful. Hazards are not in VGC at all, but Protect is everywhere. Protect is everywhere. The mind games with Protect are everywhere, which is making me think that you're going to see a lot more Z moves, because Z moves can go through Protect, even if it's not as much damage, they still go through. So you're probably going to see a lot more Z moves. You're going to see, you can't see Mega Evolution, but I have a feeling in VGC 18 Mega Evolution is going to come back and you're going to see Mega Evolution again. But that's basically the gist of it. I'm not going to get too deep into it, just because, like I said, I'm not really the one to really talk about it. I'm not an expert on VGC, but I have played it a lot, and I will probably be getting into a VGC series sometime over the new year. So if you're excited about that, let me know. But yeah, I think that's pretty much just going to be it for today. Like I said, I've actually recorded this episode on VGC. This is the third time I've tried to record it, and the reason why is just because I don't want to ramble like I'm doing right now. I just don't want to ramble about VGC. I want to give it the respect it deserves, and even if that means it's a brief episode where I'm concise, that's what I'll give it, because VGC is very hard to do. I highly recommend, if you're new to the community, I recommend playing Smogon first, just to understand the game, and then transitioning into VGC, just because VGC is a lot of mind games. You need to be really familiar with these Pokemon and their speed tiers and their stats and what moves will kill, what moves won't kill, and getting familiar with Smogon in one-on-one format will help you with that, especially if you're going to take the time to breed a team and use it in battle spot doubles on your actual game copy. It takes a lot of effort, and I would highly recommend, before getting into that, you get really familiar with how Pokemon work. But that being said, I hope you found this helpful. If any of you guys want to add anything to this, please feel free to do so. And yeah, so I will see you guys next time with the next tutorial, which I'm not sure when it's going to be, but I know what it's going to be, so I'm not going to tell you though. So I will see you guys soon. Bye.